bread as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahawashi understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? She hath wrought a good work upon me.
Yeah, because Jake was simple, man. Jake was simple, like, because the ointment is very expensive, and they could actually make money of that ointment. So they got mad at the woman for actually pouring the ointment on top of his head. But anyway, let's move on.
When Yahawashi understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment upon my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, what will ye give me? I will deliver him unto you. And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time, he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast was the unleavened bread of the disciples came to Yahawashi, saying unto him, where wilt thou prepare for thee to eat the Passover?
And you better believe that Passover was a scary one. A lot of tension in that room. Because what Yahawashi was saying is in amongst of you, there's going to be a man that's going to betray me. And the people that were amongst Yahawashi, the disciples, they were very nervous, like considering, is it me or like who is it? Because obviously the disciples knew who Yahawashi was and what he stood for. So someone betraying him amongst the disciplehood, I mean, basically, like, that would be the worst thing you could ever do, is betray the Son of Man, aka the Son of the Most High. But there was a man such as Judas Iscariot, which became the betrayer. He gave him up to be crucified. Go on, brother.
And he said, go into the city such as a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Yahawashi had appointed them. And they made ready the Passover. Now when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Right, see?
And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in a dish, the same shall betray me.
Right.
The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed.
Right. Woe unto him. And that's Judas Iscariot. What happened was Judas Iscariot wound up committing suicide. Wound up committing suicide, and because he noticed what he did. Betrayed the Son of Man so that he died on the cross. Okay? So it was better off that, yeah, he do be put to death. Because what is there to live for, knowing, having in your conscience who you betrayed, who you passed on to be put to death, even though it was already going to be played out because it was written in the Old Testament. But man, like that's a heavy thing to hold in your mind, knowing what you did to Yahawashi. As he did. Go on, brother.
The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
Right.
Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Yahawashi took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to his disciples.
Right.
And said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it.
Yeah, that's the Passover scripture.
For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
Yep.
And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then saith Yahawashi unto them.
Which verse you in?
Matthew 26 and 30.
Okay, go on.
Then saith Yahawashi unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet would I never be offended.
What?
Yahawashi said unto him, verily I say unto you, thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me twice.
Yeah, he was talking about Peter. Go on.
Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet I will not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Then cometh Yahawashi with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here.
Which the word Gethsemane means oil pressed, which represented how he felt during that time. He was pressed in the spirit because he knew what he had to go through when it was all said and done. Go on.
While I go and pray yonder, and he took with him Peter, the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
Exactly, yeah.
Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me.
So you know what that means. He was depressed. That's why he went, because he could have went to any place. There was a lot of places he could have went to, but he went to Gethsemane because he represented that oil being pressed out. Did you get the term depressed? Depressed simply means being pressed out. So he was pressed down so much to the point where he went before the Father 3 times so that he can basically go out in a different fashion. But he had no answer, and not being given the answer, there lies the answer. He was put to the cross. Yeah, what do you want? Huh? I don't.
Some teenager with the bikes.
No, I haven't seen anybody with the bike. No. You going?
That'd be hard to know because and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
You see?
And he cometh unto the disciples and find them asleep. And saith unto Peter, what, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation.
Right.
The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
You going?
He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came, found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again.
So the Spirit of the Lord was on those disciples to be sleeping, because it wasn't really for them to see him go on the cross. It was his hour. It was his time to present himself as the sacrificial lamb. All right? Go on.
And he left them and went away and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
Right.
Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betrayeth me.
Yep.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came.
Yep.
And with him a great multitude of swords.
Yeah, those Roman soldiers was around him. Go on.
And staves from the chief priests and the elders of the people.
Go on.
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he.
Yep.
Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Yahawashi and said,
kissed him.
And came to Yahawashi and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahawashi said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahawashi.
Exactly.
And took him.
Exactly. Because Judas Iscariot told the soldiers, he said, look, if I do this and I kiss him, you take hold of him. And that's exactly what they did. And basically he was in the hands of the beast from that particular point. Or should I say beasts? Go on, brother.
And behold, one of them which was with Yahawashi stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant on the high priest, of the high priest.
And that was Peter.
And smote of his ear. Then said Yahawashi unto him, put up again thy sword into his place.
Okay.
For all that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot pray? What up? Thinkest thou that I cannot pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled?
Yeah, so Yahawashi was letting Peter know, look, you can't do that, man, because I have to fulfill, this is my part to play. I have to go on the cross and do this and that and the third. I could take this man down. I could take this society down just by bringing forth the angels, because the angels are with me. Plus I got the Most High working with me, so I could easily take down this whole entire situation that I'm in. I can do away with this whole entire situation, okay, and destroy this world. But that's not my part to play in this. My part to play in this is to go through on that cross. Go on.
And in that same hour, Yahawashi said,
I tell you what, read it again, that verse again.
Then said Yahawashi unto him, put up again thy sword into his place.
Yeah.
For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
No, read up a verse. Read up a verse.
Verse 51, and behold, one of them which were with Yahawashi stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahawashi unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
All right, go on.
Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Exactly. So he could, the Lord could have just prayed. I'm talking about Yahawashi. He could have prayed to Yahawah, his Father, to give him those angels to destroy that whole entire kingdom. Because even one angel could destroy a kingdom, such as the one that we're in right now. So how much more the 12,000? All right, but again, that wasn't the will. It wasn't in the Father's will for him to destroy the world of ancient Rome at the time. If you can, get me John 6 and 38, and also John 4 and 34. And then we'll continue on from where you left off. Yahawashi, he was so focused in fulfilling his Father's will. He had a mission to do. His mission was to do all that he did in the New Testament, all the way to the cross. Go on.
This is John chapter 6, verse 38. For I came down from heaven not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me.
Exactly. Now go and get John 4, verse 34.
John 4, verse 34. And it says, John chapter 4, verse 34, Yahawashi saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work.
Exactly. So that's why he was sent down on the earth, to fulfill the will of his Father, by looking at the precepts in the Old Testament and fulfilling all of those works. Okay? Spoken of him, of course. When you read the book of Matthew 5, he came not what? To destroy the law or to destroy the prophets, but to fulfill. Not one jot, nor one tittle shall pass, no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. This is what he's doing. Go on, brother. And he was in Matthew 26.
Okay, Matthew 26, I was on Matthew 26 and... But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that thus it must be?
Yes.
In that same hour, Yahawashi said Yahawashi to the multitudes, are you come out against a thief with swords? Out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Yahawashi led them away to Caiaphas.
So what verse you read?
Verse 57.
Okay.
The high priest, when the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter, followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahawashi to put him to death, but found none. Yeah, though many false witnesses came.
Right, but found none. What does it mean that they found none? They didn't find any they didn't see that he was a criminal. He didn't commit any crimes. And that was what spoken of in the book of Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. Okay, he did no wrong. Go on, brother.
Yet found they none. At the last came two false witnesses and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the Most High and to build it in 3 days.
Exactly.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against you? But Yahawashi held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power, that thou tell us whether thou be the Mashiach, the son of the Most High. Whether thou be the son of the Most High, the son of the Most High. Yahawashi saith unto him, thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. When the high priest rent his clothes, saying, he have spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses?
Yeah, because the Pharisees did not indeed believe that he was that guy spoken of in the Old Testament. Because they also were, what is it? The Pharisees were studied under the law. They knew the law very well. Okay? So obviously they knew about the prophecies in the Old Testament as well. But they believed that some other guy was going to come in the midst and fulfill that job, but it was actually him. And the reason why the Pharisees didn't believe that he was the Son of Man, because of his projection. He was just a normal guy. And also not really just a normal guy, but he was really a man from the hood. Because in that time, because Nazareth, that area was basically nothing but a ghetto. That's why they said in the scriptures, can anybody good come from Nazareth? So when they saw Yahawashi, they saw him as a poor individual. That's why they didn't believe that he was that guy. Because in order for them to believe that he was that guy, he would have to look as good as the Pharisees did.
Go to the school they did.
Yes.
So the scriptures, it says in there, how knowing this man letters, having never read.
Yes.
He didn't go to the house of scrolls and get that top, education.
Yeah. Huh. Just like how it is today when you go to these different universities and then you get your credentials from there. All right. But during that time, like the brother said, he didn't go to the schools of higher learning. He was just a regular guy, or should I say from the hood, from Nazareth. Go on.
But Yahawashi held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power, that thou tell us whether thou be the Mashiach, the Son of the Most High. Yahawashi answered him, thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, coming in the clouds of heaven. When the high priest rent his clothes, saying, he hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have I of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. When did they spit in his face and buffeted him?
So now it's just getting started. The affliction is just getting started now. You're going, brother.
And others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, prophesy unto us.
Someone smacked him in the face now. Go on.
Thou Mashiach, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, thou also was with Yahawashi of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he is gone out into the fort.
So I'll tell you what we do. Let's go back and read Isaiah 53 again, where it says that he didn't say anything. He was quiet.
Got it. Isaiah 53 and 7. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
Right, he didn't open up his mouth. So that's exactly what we're now reading in the book of Matthew, the 26th chapter. because as he was walking through the people, someone smacked him upside the face, and then somebody spat at him, and there was this woman that came onto him saying, "Are you the Son of Man?" All right, in a roundabout way, and he didn't say nothing, fulfilling the scripture. Go on, brother.
As a sheep before his shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth.
Yep.
He was taken from prison and from judgment. Who shall declare his generation?
Yeah, so let's go back to Matthew 26. We left off at.
Matthew 26 and Matthew 26 and 66. What think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him in the palm of their hands, saying, prophesy unto us, thou Mashiach, who is he that smote thee?
Right.
Now Peter sat without in the palace, and the damsel came unto him, saying, thou art with Yahawashi of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I don't know what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them, that thou were there. This fellow also was with Yahawashi of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him.
And the reason why I'm smiling, man, because Yahawashi, he was dead grounded to the script. he was probably reading, what is it, Isaiah 53, and he said, yeah, you know what, this is the way it has to be done, and this is the way I'm doing it right now as it stands, in the time that he was in. Go on, brother.
And after a while came unto him.
Do what, brother? Do what, yeah?
And stood.
So basically, when you read, like, if you can read the book of Peter's, where it talks about being self-willed. Yahawashi wasn't being self-willed, man. Yahawashi is stuck to the script. So we have to arm ourselves likewise. We have to stick to the script. We don't need to go outside of ourselves or do anything that goes outside of the ministry, man. We got to stick to the script, just like how we stuck to the script. The water, go.
Yeah, this is
I think it's 1 Peter 2.
yeah. 2 Peter 2 and 10.
No, second.
But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. Presumptuous are they,
Right.
self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignity.
Exactly, man. So Yahawashi didn't come in that self-willed spirit, despising government, because his government was the most high. All right. So it's the same thing with us. Our government and those that are over us, we have to basically be under them. All right. So as it is written, that's exactly how we have to walk accordingly. How to love our brother, and how to honor those that are above us, give double honors, as the scripture says, and all of the above. But you have men that have come amongst us that have not really showed that kind of spirit. And this is why they've been ousted. And this is why some of them decided to want to do their own thing. So doing your own thing was not the spirit of Yahawashi. He was a man that stuck to the script of his father, man. Okay? So if we're doing our Father's will, we're going to honor the men that came before us. Go on, brother.
Verse.
Just like how he honored his Father in heaven. Let me finish off with that. Go on, brother.
Verse 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Yahawashi, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
Right, 3 times.
And he went out and wept bitterly. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and the elders of the people.
I tell you what, brother, you need Matthew 27. Because he's been doing a lot of reading. That's
When the morning was come, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Yahawashi to put him to death.
God.
And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. When Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said,
so not only did he, so check this out, not only did he betray the innocent blood, but he betrayed the begotten Spirit of the Most High, which was always mentioned in the Old Testament. And that's exactly what he knew in his mind that he had done. But that's why he decided to give away the silver. Because what was 30 pieces of silver? Yeah, it was a lot of money, but what are you going to do with that money knowing what you've done? To a man with such great caliber, and that he was an innocent man on top of that. Go on.
And they said, what is it? What is that to us? See that I do that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed.
So as wicked as he was, he had a conscience. He was like, you know what? Fuck all that. You can just take it back. I don't want this. I might as well just go kill myself. But the Pharisees were still like, man, let's get this guy to be crucified. They was looking to see him get crucified. Go on, brother.
And went and hanged himself.
See?
And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful to put them into the treasury.
Yeah, and that's why it says in the scriptures, better is he that should not live, knowing because of what he did. Go on. Because
it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in it. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them to the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. And Yahawashi stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahawashi said unto him, thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to a never a word, insomuch that the governor,
so he was quiet as kept,
marveled greatly.
He's quiet, man. So that's it on that. It's to go. Let's read Matthew 27.
Wasn't that Matthew 27?
That was
yeah.
No, 26.
Oh,
I wanted you to finish 26. You was reading 26. You had to be reading 26.
Matthew 26, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'm still on Matthew 26.
Okay. You know, we don't have to read any more. That's actually a good part. We can stop off there. We can stop off there and we can just jump to 27.
Oh, you know.
Just read 27.
That was 27.
Oh, that was 27?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wanted to start with 26 and then go to 27.
You had a certain way in order that you were going to...
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. But it's all right. But yeah, tell you what. Read all the way down to... Let me see something real quick. Hold this.
No, but there's wait. There's more on there. 27. Yeah, there's more on 27.
Okay.
Yeah. We go into that. We go into the...
Yeah, there was more. There was more. I'm
Yeah.
on 15.
Yeah,
Okay, come.
Now, Matthew 27 and 15. Now at the feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. And they had been then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Yahawashi, which is called Mashiach? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him.
Yeah, so them angels came to and started messing with her mind. Your husband's about to make a big mistake. Don't have nothing to do with that, man. That's innocent blood.
No.
But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahawashi. The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate saith unto them, what shall I do? Then with Yahawashi, which is also called Mashiach. They all say unto him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil have he done?
Right. Even Pontius Pilate, what was he, man? Pontius Pilate, he was the
governor.
Yeah, he was the governor. Right. So even the governor was like, yo, like this dude didn't really do anything wrong. So why is there any need for him to be crucified? Like, what's going on there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the dude was a bit perplexed in the mind. Because the guy did nothing wrong, as what was said in the book of Isaiah, 53rd chapter. Go on, brother.
Pilate said unto him, what shall I do then with Yahawashi, which is called Mashiach? And he will say unto him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, why? What evil have he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude,
right,
saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person.
Right.
See ye to it.
Yeah, because even Pontius Pilate, as wicked as he was, because Pontius Pilate is an Edomite, but even he saw something in Yahawashi. He saw something that was wrong with what was going on. Because there was, because a man such as him was an innocent man. He committed no crime. Okay? Now, I don't know if Pontius Pilate knew of Yahawashi, but I'm talking about prior before this moment, but he began to know of him at this particular moment as to what he was going to do. I got it, brother.
Stop it again. Back on Matthew 27 and 26 to 25, Salakia. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be upon us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them.
Yeah, that's what the rest of the nation of Israel said. They said, let his blood be upon us and our children. This is why our forefathers endured what we've endured on this side of time. All right? Because we are our forefathers coming back. So this is why when you see these sheikhs going through their, their little miserable life and hearing about them getting shot down or getting beat or getting choked out by the cops, that's the same crew. Okay? And even the jakes that's in higher positions of the society, even them too, they were also part of that as well. So when the Lord makes a second return, not only is he going to go against those that have pierced him, but he's going to go against them, or those, should I say, that have wanted to see him be put to death. All right?
Those are probably the same Israelites that didn't make it to the promised land.
Exactly. Exactly.
And also those that were getting a dog set on them on slavery.
Yes.
And getting hung.
Yep.
That was that same generation.
Yep. What is it, the third or fourth generation of those that hate me? Go on, bro.
This is verse 26. Then released Barabbas unto them. When he had scourged Yahawashi, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahawashi, took unto him unto the common hall, and gathered the band of soldiers, and they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and a reed in his right hand.
And he just stick those thorns right on top of his head. And that was the beginning of what he had to endure on that cross, man. Go on, brother.
And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spat on him, upon him, and they took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that, they had mocked him.
And a band of Roman soldiers consists of 100 Edomites, man.